My top tips for preparing for a board director interview. This is not a traditional kind of job interview. It's a really nuanced, important conversation. You might only get a few quality face-to-face opportunities, and the preparation is going to be crucial. First and foremost, you absolutely must walk into that interview really prepped, really right across the brief, having been armed with all the right information. You will have done your background due diligence. You would have done your financial credit checks. You will be right across that organisation and the people that you're meeting with so that you can be really informed and demonstrate that you've done your research throughout your conversation. So it's really important to be well prepared. You cannot afford to wing this type of interview, this type of meeting. Go the extra mile though. You know, a lot of people just do the basics. We had a client the other day, and one of the first things I suggested was that this client go and do a mystery shop on that client's organisation and to really be armed with anecdotal evidence from what's going on out in the field. And he did that, and he took that suggestion on board, and of course he was able to weave that into the conversation, which created a really interesting dynamic. So not many people would be prepared to go and do something like that. So it was a really smart additional way to demonstrate that that person had really, done the research, understood the brief, understood some of the challenges and the issues that the organisation was facing. Second key thing about the interview preparation is you really have to go into a board director interview with your opinions. There's no point being a wallflower if you're going to be, operating at this really senior level. You have to be opinionated and have the right way to express those opinions. So you have to think about what the challenges are and what the opportunities are, have that kind of very high level SWOT in your mind about the organisation so that you can craft your commentary in the right way so it doesn't come across too critical, doesn't come across without the right sort of language and tone. But you do need to be prepared to go into interviews with opinions. And I know when I've secured board roles, it's always been on the back of me expressing quite strong views about some of the challenges that that organisation was facing. And then I tied that back into how I would assist and how I would take that organisation forward. And then that leads me into the final point around your value proposition. So everyone's got a value proposition where they can add the most value, but then you have to now tailor that to that specific organisation and those specific individuals that you're talking to and how your value proposition is unique compared to other board members that maybe are serving in the boardroom. And you've got to work out a way to really highlight those throughout the conversation. So you need to have incredible levels of self-awareness, but you also need to overlay that again with your research about where that value proposition really sits and how you highlight that during the conversations. So there's quite a lot of legwork, and then I would highly recommend that you then go and do a practice session with a trusted peer or colleague who can really challenge you and throw you a few curveball questions to see how you operate. Because the reality is that this is a bit of a weird process. No two recruitment processes are the same. Every board does things a little bit differently. There is no stock standard playbook, and you can find yourself caught a little bit off guard, particularly if you are underprepared. And by doing that preparation session, that mock session, can really give you the confidence. And it's very important that you walk into that meeting confident, really understanding the brief, as I said, and the more legwork you can do, the more likely it is you're going to perform extremely well. Read the room well, so that you can really convey the right message, get the information across, and of course, gather the right information that you need to assess whether this is the right opportunity for you. Always keep in mind it is a two-way street. Just as much as they're interviewing you, you're interviewing them, and we want to try and gather as much information as possible.